Yes, sir.
Ms. Sherlock?
Yes, sir.
Karen? Yeah. Good deal. And it is time to call the August 19th, 2025 Wirt County Board of Education meeting to order. At this time, our first item is the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're going to ask Mr. Lowe to lead us this evening.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I need a motion to approve the agenda. Okay, on the agenda under finance payment invoices, we have an amount in there of $173,808.83. Under personnel matters, under B, number 1, that has been struck from the agenda, will come back to us at a later date. Number 2 has been struck from the agenda, will come back at a later date. And number 3 has been struck from the agenda and will come back at a later date. On towards the bottom, number 12, we have a name for the cook 3. We have a name for the bus aide, and we have a name for the athletic trainer for Wirt County Middle School. Yes. Thank you. Also under number 6, there is a name under substitute teacher. And then on the third page under new business, we have the 3 architect engineering firms that were interviewed for our pre-bond services, McKinley, Pickerton, and Thrasher Group. And we're going to leave that. Mr. McCown will make his recommendation when we get to that point. Okay, I think that's it. Did I miss anything? Any question on the changes of the agenda? Not changes, but the... No? Okay, here none. We have a motion to approve the agenda as presented with the new pieces put in. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Okay, we're down to information. Number 1 is West Virginia GSA state data. Mr. McCown.
So I already gave you this handout, and it's the one that looks like this in color. And I had shared with the board what our results were during my evaluation executive session. And at that time, those scores were still embargoed. Well, the state board has met those scores, so that information is available to the general public for all 55 counties. And I emailed this to you. This is a nice pivot table that you can go back and you can, if you click on the top of each one in the file that I sent you, you can sort it from the highest to the lowest so you can see the 55 counties and their ranking for each year in math and reading. So if you look at the front page, this is sorted by the 2024-2025 math scores from the top. And as you can see, Putnam County had the highest scores in the state, and Wirt County is in the 11th in the state spot. With Raleigh County, Pocahontas, Tyler, Jackson, Ritchie, Wood, Ohio, Hancock, Monongalia, and Putnam counties in the top 10 spots in that. And then if you turn the page to the second page, this is the same thing, except it is ELA scores. And if you will look about 3/4 of the way down, you will see Wirt. That is the 40th spot. Okay, but I would ask you to look at the 2017-18. We were at 36.8. We were at 38.4, 38.9, 39.1, 42.92. Year before last year, we were at 45%. And if you open the pivot table and you go back and sort on the 2023-2024 year, we were somewhere around, I believe, 18th. I didn't do that here. So you can see that little dip that we took in reading scores from 45% proficient in 23-24 to 42.1% proficient last year. Even though that's not a very high decrease in the percentage, it really threw us down the ranks in reading, and we're not where we want to be with reading. But I think, as you can see, if you look at all of those years of ELA scores starting back in 2017 and going through this past year, in general, it is trending up and getting better. I'm confident that when I bring this same thing to you again next year, that we are going to see a marked improvement in reading. But likewise, if you can see where we were in math in 2017 and where we are now, and where we were in reading then and where we are now, I think you can note the marked increase in achievement scores. But again, you can see statewide, all 55 counties. I encourage you to open the Excel file and play around with the pivot table and sort the different years, and you can see where work was ranked in 2017 and then all of the subsequent years through last year. Since this is not embargoed, I wanted to come and share this with the board and the public. And in subsequent board meetings, I will be bringing the schools in to discuss their data and the goals that each school has academically for this year, and the county strategic plan and the county-wide goals that we have for this year. So, but since this is unembargoed now, I wanted to bring it to you and let you look at it, and you can expect to see in subsequent meetings, schools talking about where they're at and what their plan for improvement is. And I did mention at our opening meeting to all staff that I want to challenge the schools to not just for reading instruction and teaching the kids to read. That's very important that the kids learn how to read, but there's a huge study that I quoted in my opening session that basically says if you take a kid that loves to read and reads on their own time for their enjoyment, that is a bigger indicator than socioeconomic, any other indicator, is that the kid likes to read and chooses to read on their own time. So I've challenged the schools to work on a plan to try to help instill that love of reading, because we've done a lot of professional development in years past with math and reading instruction both. I think that our teachers have a good nuts and bolts understanding of teaching the kid to read, but we've got to go beyond that and do our very best to instill the love of reading in those kids to where they do read on their own time. I think that's going to pay the greatest dividends in increasing reading scores across the county. So, happy to entertain any questions that you have about the state data.
Mr. McCown, if any of our community would like to see this, where can they find this?
It is on Zoom. It's not going to look exactly like
Right.
this, but if you Google WVDE Zoom West Virginia, the state has put all of this data for all of those years on the Zoom West Virginia site, and it has, you can toggle it by county and you can toggle it by school, and these scores will populate for any member of the public to see. Not just Wirt County's scores, but any school or county in the state. WVDE Zoom West Virginia is the site.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so you said that one of the commonalities with the districts that have higher reading proficiency is that those students, more of those students are reading for enjoyment. Is that correct?
So that wasn't data that was compiled with West Virginia, but that was just a broad study done, a multinational study, yes.
Okay, so is there any other usable data from this other than ranking that we can look for commonalities for things that we can apply to our students that we can do?
So I don't know that, from this data, I don't believe so.
I don't think
So
so.
some of the things are unchangeable. The socioeconomic status, the demographics, things like that.
So I would just say to any parent out there, engage with your kid and read with your kid. I think that's so important. I think that if the parents are reading to their kids on a regular basis, and one of the things that I know we're going to do is we're going to make some books available for kids to take home. So I would say take advantage of that this year, and if you can spend more time reading to your children, that's going to be one of the things that we try to increase this year.
Okay. Because I'm glad you mentioned that, because in every single piece of research that I've come across with reading capabilities and reading achievement levels, it seemed that almost always the highest levels were students that had the parents read to them in the homes.
Yep.
Even up until the middle school level. If any parents are listening to this right now, if you want your children to be more proficient in language arts and reading, you must read to the children at home, and even up through middle school level.
Lead by example.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, we're down to the attendance narrative. Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Mr. McCown. Thank you, Mr. Metz. Okay, start this from the beginning. Okay. First thing I wanted to address was the enrollment. Currently, at the primary center, there's 313 students. At the middle school, there's 255, and at the high school is 276, for a total enrollment of 844 as of Thursday, August 14th. Okay. The total enrollment is decreased by 22 students in comparison to the September 24-25 attendance report. Wirt County Primary Center enrollment decreased by 15 students, middle school decreased by 7 students, and high school total enrollment remained the same in comparison. In regards to by grade, pre-K is at 45, kindergarten's at 65, first grade is at 48, second grade is at 51, third grade is at 51, fourth grade is at 53. At the middle school, there's 67 in fifth grade, 62 in sixth grade, 54 in seventh, and 72 in eighth. In regards to the high school, there are 80 in ninth grade, 63 in 10th grade, 63 in 11th grade, and 72 in 12th. Now, I know those are all numbers and data, but since then I wanted to give you more information so you could see where the drop-offs and such, since I gave you this initial report. So I took a little more time and analyzed it. As far as pre-K, this is what's unusual. There's a decrease by 23 students in comparison to September of last year, but we've increased by 22 students in kindergarten, which I thought was kind of interesting. First grade is 6 less students. Second grade is 6 more students. Third grade is 5 less students, and fourth grade is at -9 less students. So that's where the total of 15 less students comes from. That's the breakdown where the increase and decrease was. At the middle school, 5th grade has 8 more students, 6th grade has 4 more students, 7th grade has 15 less students, and 8th grade has 4 less students. At the high school, although their attendance remained the same in comparison to last year, that's why I put that as total enrollment. It, of course, has fluctuated. 9th grade is 13 more students, 10th grade is 2 less students, 11th grade is -15, and 12th grade increased by 4. So you can see it's kind of an up and down. There's no real, I look for some continuity or consistency, but what I see, it's changing all over the board. And if the biggest impact that I saw analyzing the decrease of 22 is, of course, mainly to either kids enrolling in another school out of county or going to alternative means for education, whether it's homeschool, Christian school, various other avenues they're taking. So that's where the biggest change of 22 students is, and by the way, the reason why I didn't do the attendance rate, I didn't want to give a true depiction, but this year there's been a lot of students coming in and out, so like a kid could be absent 2 or 3 days, and they may be in the process of going to another school, and until they ask for a request for records, we can't drop them, for example. So there's a whole process, and so in September, I can give you a better depiction of the attendance rate. I'll do that as far as that goes. So does anybody have any questions or concerns? I know I went through that pretty quick, but, okay. All right.
We're only talking about, what, 3 days?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Yeah, I did the report on Thursday, so that was literally the first day of school,
Right.
Brent. So even if you went through today, you're only looking at 3 or 4 days of
Right.
school. So I wanted to give you a true depiction of what, yeah. And of course, to begin school, the kids are, you know, of course, the attendance rate tends to be better the first few days of school till you're figuring out who all's there, but most of the attendance is best at that time, so.
Well, I noticed the last meeting, we had a lot of kids because they have to do it every year.
Right.
But is it hard to distinguish which ones was here before or not, or how you get a number on that?
Now that I'm gonna have to analyze because, Dottie at the high school told me, and I have to sit and analyze this too, because she said she saw quite a few kids coming back in from homeschool. She saw some going out. So I'm just trying to read all that, to be honest with you, Brent. Maybe by next time I can give you a truer
Well, yeah,
reading,
I just know it'd be hard to tell, you know, what,
Right, and the only way I'll be able to go back and do that is go back into the homeschool Hope Scholarship app, and as soon as we re-enroll a kid, then it'll send up a red flag that they're enrolled in public school, so I'll have to go through and analyze all that data to answer your question, Brent. When I get a chance, I'll have to do that and see. So it'll red flag it if they're enrolled in public school, so if they've previously done something different, so. Yeah. Anybody have any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay, maintenance report.
Okay.
Were you done with that?
Oh, yeah, as
Okay.
long as you all didn't have any further
Yeah.
questions, I'm fine. Thank you. Okay. All right, of course, in the maintenance report, I gave you the narrative, but Mr. Reuter Incorporated jackhammered through the floor and replaced the damaged drainage pipe underneath the pre-K wing hallway at the primary center. Wirt County Schools maintenance staff replaced the concrete floor, and family carpet replaced the VCT tile for the area. I thought it turned out pretty good. I just took a picture of it so you could see how it looked at the finished product.
As you recall, we've had some issues at that pre-K entrance to the playground for some years. When it rained very hard, water was backing up in that drain and coming into the doors. And at the very end of the school year, we had a big downpour, and it did that. So when we had them come to inspect it, that drain that goes from right outside those doors in the picture there comes underneath the floor there, and probably 30, I don't know how old that would be, 30 or 40 years old. It had gotten clogged with gravel and dirt and debris and things, and so when they scoped it, it was necessary to come in and jackhammer that up and repair that drain. So hopefully that issue with water coming in those doors will be alleviated now, but I thought the project turned out well.
Anyone have any questions concerning that as far as that goes? Okay. Okay. The Wirt County Middle School gym floors logos and floor design were redone, and the floor was refinished by Hilliard Incorporated. The change was due to water damage and a need to sand the floor. Approximately 2/3 of the cost will be paid by the school system insurance provider. What we did, we had a leak on an area of the floor close to, if you can see down here at this far end where I was taking pictures at, the water had dripped in from a drain, and the floor had actually got warped, and there was no way of, to fix it correctly without it being a safety hazard. So we thought we were ahead of the cycle, but every like 12 years or so, they sand the floor down. We were like in the 7th or 8th year. So we thought if this would be a perfect opportunity to fix the gym the way they wanted it to look at the middle school. And I really think it looks nice. I don't know how many of you have been over there since they redid it, but I thought they did a pretty good job with it, so.
So, yeah, if you look at that, the 3-point area on each end is a darker varnish. I think looks very nice with the same dark varnish area around the tiger paw in the middle. And then also, they've had some artwork put up. If you look at the wall there on the top left of that photo, you can see that. Did you take a picture going the other way, Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
By chance?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that, I don't know if that was the right direction you're wanting, Mr.
Well,
McCown.
no,
No,
the
just
wall
show-
No,
where
I
the
didn't get
bleachers
the-
is.
sorry,
Well,
I-
they've also put work WCMS above the opposite wall where the tiger is above the bleachers. If you get an opportunity, stop in there and look at that. It did turn out very nice.
The gentleman that did that said that was probably one of the nicest looking middle school floors he's done, period, is what he told me, so. But,
Now, Mr. Smith, it's my understanding that that ceiling is still leaking. That roof is still leaking.
well, not where we had the damage, Mr. Metz. There was an issue over there. Now we're down to where there's an issue there in front of the bleachers. We've been putting tarps there. We've had different people come in and look at the situation. We don't want to run the floors, you're asking, Mr. Metz. But there was a leak there the other day, but it was unrelated to where it happened the other day, where the serious damage was done. Matter of fact, during that torrential downpour the other day, there was water there, but the tarp caught it and they removed it from the area. We're trying to take every step we can to keep from running that floor, correct?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if it's the old place or a new place. It'll do the same thing if we don't get it fixed.
Right, and we've had different contractors come in and look to see if they can address the problem, and they've tried different approaches. Luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had any more leaks in that area where it damaged the main playing floor, but yeah. So ideally, right now, Mr. Metz, if they opened the bleachers out right now, not that that's okay. It wouldn't be on the floor, it'd be literally hitting the bleachers, which is bad too,
But it's not okay.
no, it's not okay, but it's being addressed and looked at is what I'm saying, Mr. Metz. We're trying to.
But I will tell you that I was over, I don't know, several days ago, and it truly is probably the nicest middle school gym floor that I've ever seen. It just is, if you haven't seen it, it's worth going and looking at. And
I was just there today. I didn't even
Mrs.
notice.
Oh, my.
Well, I
It
didn't
is
go in the gym. I
really
walked
nice.
the
It's-
hallway behind it, but.
It's nicer than the high school, I think.
And actually, I'm glad you said that, Mr. Metz, okay? When they started to do that, I came to Mr. McCown, because the guy that was doing the floor, he said, I have some concerns, Jeff. I said, what's your concern? He said, that's such a nice-looking gym floor. Is the high school principal going to be mad? I said, Dottie, do you care? And she said, no. Why do I care what
It's
they're,
really
that's
nice.
great if their gym floor looks that way, but a lot of people would have been upset by that or threatened by that,
Yeah,
whatever it
and
was.
the artwork that Mrs. Hickman had put up is just spectacular. It's nice.
Yeah.
Our kids have a good facility. But I will reiterate again, we need to get those leaks fixed.
Oh, trust me, ask Mr. McCown. I've had everybody I can have come in and look at that, but we got to
We've
get.
had trouble it seems like every year with the roof. And
Yeah.
is there something that we need to, what do we need to redo? Because I can remember clear back when my grandkids was in middle school, and there's games that tournament games had to be stopped and brought over there because the water was coming down, from the.
Oh, I know, and
roof.
we're going to
And-
continue, we're going to continue to try and find what the issue is. Like I said, we've had contractors in. I wish they could come in there when it was pouring the rain so they could pinpoint exactly where it's at, but they went up in there in the ceiling, they've done different things, and they tried to fix it, thinking maybe it was the membrane roof the other day. They patched that to be safe, and then they looked if two drains were separated. They're trying a process to try and get it fixed, is all I can say. We've had people in here looking at it. So Mr. Metz is right. We don't want to spend that kind of money on the floor and then it get ruined when it pours the rain again, so.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
Sorry, I went ahead too.
Oh, go ahead. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Mr. Smith.
That's all right.
Cutting you off there.
That's all right. The Wirt County High School custodial staff helped prepare, smooth, and level the VCT flooring in room 404 in Mrs. Starcher's room. Family Carpet installed LVT planking over the VCT area in the room. So they've really been impressed with that room. All I've heard is positive remarks from Mrs. Starcher, Debbie, and of course Dottie, the principal, all said they were really impressed with how that looks. So that's been needed, and they're really happy with it so far, so. Okay, the Wirt County Schools maintenance staff disassembled the dish machine and the accompanying table in the Wirt County High School kitchen's dishwashing room. The Wirt County High School custodial staff cleaned the walls, removed storage rack, painted the wall, and reattached the rack to the wall of the same area. Hobart Corporation updated the electrical service, and Family Carpet installed slip-resistant quarry tile. This is in preparation for the new dish machine and table that was ordered. So I don't know if you guys saw what it looked like before, but trust me, it looks a lot nicer now with the new quarry tile, cleaned up the walls, repainted it, and I really think they're proud of how that looks in there now. So we thought that was a good opportunity since we were getting a new table just to remodel the whole thing and get it to look really nice. So see how that, I think they'll take a lot of pride in that. It looks nice, I think. Okay. The Wirt County Schools maintenance staff's in the process of removing the old goal post and replacing them with new goal posts at the football field. The new goal posts were purchased from Davis Athletics. Now, since I took these pictures today, okay, this is at the far end here, and this is at the other end closest to the school. You can see what they're having to do is these are the new goal posts, and they were heavier than what the old ones were. The old ones were aluminum. These are actually steel, okay? So the gooseneck and the part that goes across, Tim and them can testify to this, it weighs like 1,500 pounds combined. So once they get that set up and they pour concrete, the reason they have scaffolding set up there, they tell you to leave it set for 2 or 3 days. And if you put something with hydraulics, it would drain off after 2 or 3 days. So once they get that established, we'll get concrete poured, and they'll have to stay that way for 2 or 3 days to make sure it's stable and in place, level, and all those such things. But I checked today, and they've already got the one down at the far end close to the bus garage. They've got, that was the less difficult one because they were able to place it where the other one's at, not where the other one was at. The other one's going to take more work because it's a bigger pad. They're going to have to dig it out, pull it out, the one closest to the school. So something else we're looking at, and this is something small, but it's a safety thing, and we think it's a good idea. Once they get these goalposts up, I talked to Mr. McCown today about this. We're talking about putting netting behind both of the goalposts because, you know, for years we've had kids or whoever get up on the school and retrieve balls when they kick extra points and so on and so forth. If we get that netting, you wouldn't have that issue. You wouldn't have, you know, footballs going down here hitting the buses whenever they kick field goals and such. So we thought that would be an added addition to that, would make it look nice as well. So, but, okay. Anyone have any questions or concern?
They will have them up by a week from Friday.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you know this, Brett,
Yeah,
but
there's
people
some-
have mentioned that once. I'm joking.
I think there's a middle school game maybe next week, isn't there?
No, it's the week after, I
Okay.
checked, yeah. But no, I know you're, but yeah, they're also gonna, if you've
The
noticed the
fence.
fencing down here, they're coming here tomorrow. Maintenance, and I believe, Tim, they're working on, getting the goalpost up as best as they can to where they can pour the concrete. Alco, a company's supposed to come in and look at the fencing where they had to take the fence down to redo the field. That's the other thing that needs taken care of. They're coming in to give us an estimate tomorrow, so.
And I'll say in that photo, look at that nice green grass.
So how are they gonna be able to hold it up and down steady?
That's what the scaffolding, once they get it set and level, they're putting scaffolding, that's what it's saying, on each side.
Oh, so it's enough to hold it
Yes,
up and
yes,
down?
so it won't
Okay.
move during that 2 or 3 day period, correct. Yeah, that's a good question, Lee. Okay. Any other questions or
Okay.
concern?
We're running downhill this year?
Yeah, there's not gonna be a
Well,
6-foot difference from one.
We had, 100 dump trucks of dirt to remedy that problem?
Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes. And now with these goalposts, you won't be able to stand there and hold the crossbar like you could a couple weeks ago, but anyway, okay. Any other questions? All right, thanks,
The buildings look nice.
thanks,
I've walked through all 3 of them, and they look nice.
good.
Look
Glad to hear
nice.
that. Thanks.
Okay, we're down to recognitions, which we have none, but here shortly, they should start picking up. We get kids back. No delegations, so we're down to the agenda. The first item is the approval of the minutes. If it is okay with the board, I will take both actions as one motion, unless somebody wants to take them separate. Okay, so need a motion to approve the July 31st, 2025 special meeting minutes and the August 5th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any corrections, comments, or concerns about either set of minutes? Hear none, we have a motion to approve the minutes of the July 31st, 2025 special meeting and the August 5th, 2025 regular meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Down to finance, need a motion to approve the payment of invoices in the amount of $173,808.83.
So moved.
Commissioner McCown.
So we have 4 runs of expenditures for your consideration this evening. The first on 8/7/2025, totaling $10,000. That is our dental vision insurance premium. The next on 8/12/2025 totals $1,361.36. This is primarily P-card, travel, and fuel expenses. Then the next on 8/15/2025 totaling $30,007.63 is primarily utilities. And then finally, the biggest run has a bunch of different things in there. On 8/19/2025, it totals $132,439.84. Noteworthy in this, we have $18,097.21 for instructional supplies. We have CDW for $9,172.20 for netbooks. We have Davis Athletics, $11,865 for the aforementioned goalposts that we're putting in. And we have Power School and Schoology technology subscriptions in the amount of $16,940.52. All of these expenditures total $173,808.83.
Any questions on invoices? Here none, we have a motion to approve the payment of invoices in the amount of $173,808.83. I messed that up, but you know what I mean. Do we have, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Lost my way there for a second. Okay, we're down to budget supplements. Need a motion to approve budget supplements in the amount of $63,259.25.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So the first in the amount of $65,000 is Communities in School funds for Wirt County Primary Center, Wirt County Middle School. And note, the second supplement is in the negative, $1,740.75. This is a decrease in our Communities in School budget for the high school. And these two total $63,259.25.
Any questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve the budget supplements in the amount of $63,259.25. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Down to budget transfers. Need a motion to approve budget transfers in the amount of $82,778.43.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
So when Mr. Metz went through the agenda, we have still not been able to find a high school math teacher, so that posting will go back out. But to give the students a live human being certified teacher, we have contracted with Proximity Learning again this year, and that provides a certified teacher that is teaching live with the students each period. We still have a substitute in there proctoring that, but this is the contracted service to provide a virtual math teacher for all the Algebra 1 and financial algebra courses that missing teacher would teach.
Any questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve the budget transfers in the amount of $82,778.43. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Down to routine business, personnel matters. Resignations, leave of absence. Need a motion to approve the resignation of Connie Boyce as Cook 3, Wirt County Primary Center, effective August 6, 2025.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
So her letter is in your packet. If you recall, she was on medical leave
Right.
last year and has tendered a letter of resignation. It is in your packet.
Any questions? Here none, we'll have a motion to approve the resignation of Connie Boyce as Cook 3 at Wirt County Primary Center, effective August 6, 2025. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Need a motion to approve the resignation of Jamie Vanoy yearbook sponsor, Wirt County Primary Center, effective August 8th, 2025.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So I'm going to tell you, when I saw an email from Jamie Vinoy that in the title line had resignation, I about stroked out a little bit, to tell the truth. And then when
Yeah.
I read it, it was for position of yearbook sponsor, and I breathed a big sigh of relief. So happy that she's resigning from that and not her teaching position.
And my understanding is from her letter that there is somebody else that's interested.
Correct, yes. Her letter is in your packet, and it does say such.
Any questions? Hear none, we have a motion to accept the resignation of Jamie Vinoy as yearbook sponsor for Wirt County Primary School, effective August 8th, 2025. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, 1, 2, and 3 will come back to us, so we're down to number 4. Need a motion to approve the employment as a substitute teacher, Stephanie Hickman, for the 25-26 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So her application is in your packet. She does have a bachelor's degree and has successfully completed the short-term substitute certification with WVDE. Her certification is in your packet also.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the employment of Stephanie Hickman as substitute teacher for 25-26 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Need a motion to approve the employment of Kelly White as substitute teacher for 25-26 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So Mrs. White is a fully certified teacher that just retired in Ohio and is wanting to sub in West Virginia. So her application information and her certification page is in your packet.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the employment of Kelly White as substitute teacher for 25-26 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, need a motion to approve the employment of Haley Sams, substitute teacher for 25-26 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So as you recall, it wasn't too many years ago that she graduated from Wirt County High School. She has completed a bachelor's degree and went through with that bachelor's degree and completed the short-term substitute certification and is fully certified as a substitute teacher. So happy to bring her name back to you tonight.
Any questions? Hear none, we have a motion to approve the employment of Haley Sams, substitute teacher for 25-26 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, we have a motion to approve the employment of Charles Roberts Jr., substitute bus operator for 25-26 school year, pending background check and certification, and effective upon completion of his required paperwork.
So moved.
You get that? Ms. Stewart. Mr.
Okay, so
McCown.
his application is in your packet. He and the next person on the agenda have come in to inquire about being trained as a bus driver. Mr. Smith has been working with them, and we're bringing them to you pending the background check and completion of required paperwork, and that they complete all training before we bring them back.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the employment of Charles Roberts Jr., substitute bus operator for 25-26 school year, pending background check and certification, effect upon completion of the required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, need a motion to approve the employment of Sean Martin, substitute bus operator for 25-26 school year, pending background check and certification, effective upon completion of his required paperwork.
So move.
Mr. McCown.
So another Wirt County High School graduate that I had in school years ago and got to see him. I hadn't seen him for several years, but he was in, so happy to bring his name to you and hopefully get a couple other substitute bus drivers on the roster.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve Sean Martin as substitute bus operator for 25-26 school year pending background check and certification effective upon completion of his required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Number 9, need a motion to approve the employment of Lauren Klein, assistant golf coach at Wirt County High School, effective for 25-26 school year and based upon the completion of her required paperwork. Mr. McCown.
So she has completed the SSAC coursework, and her application for the Form 39 with WBDE is pending. There's some kind of hiccup there. It said it wasn't notarized, but we pulled it, and it is notarized, so I'm going to have to call them tomorrow. But everything is in there, and it's just pending processing with WBDE. And if you recall, Lauren is a graduate from 2 years ago. She was on the golf team and is willing to come back and help coach golf. So glad to bring her name to you this evening.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the employment of Lauren Klein, assistant golf coach, Wirt County High School, effective for the 25-26 school year and based upon completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Down to 10. Need a motion to approve the employment of Frances Eagle, cheerleading coach, Wirt County Middle School, effective for the 25-26 school year based upon the completion of her required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So she has completed the SSAC certification and holds a short-term substitute certification, so does not need Form 39.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the employment of Frances Eagle as cheerleading coach for Wirt County Middle School, effective for 25-26 school year, based upon the completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Ayes have it, motion carries. Need a motion to approve the employment of Janet Frazier as assistant volleyball coach, Wirt County Middle School, effective for 25-26 school year, based upon completion of her required paperwork.
So move.
Mr. McCown.
So Janet also is certified and hired as a short-term substitute, so does not require Form 39.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the employment of Janet Frazier as assistant volleyball coach, Wirt County Middle School, effective for 25-26 school year, based upon completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Need a motion to approve the employment of Nora Kelly as Cook 3, split day at Wirt County Primary Center, Wirt County Middle School, and Wirt County High School, effective for 25-26 school year with completion of her required paperwork.
So move.
Mr. McCown.
So as you recall, a board meeting or so ago, I asked at the bequest of Chris Malonis that you authorize a new position that is cook, half high school, half primary middle. We actually transferred in RIF transfer season last year, Nora, from the high school to the primary center. Well, Chris thought the high school might need some extra help. You authorized this, and now Nora is the successful bidder on that position. And later in the agenda, you're abolishing a cook position. That is the vacant one that's going to be vacated from this. So we're not adding an extra cook totally. You added this one, we're taking that one away, and it's remaining equal to what the total number of cooks was. We're just going to have, instead of one full-time at the primary, that position that Nora bid on is the one you authorized, splitting it between the high school
Right.
and the primary middle.
Any questions?
Does that allow her to go to wherever the most need is?
Well, I think it's the way that it was posted, has them at each school during the busiest time that it's there, split between the day.
Yeah, the posting have specific times.
It did have specific
Yeah.
times.
Any other questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve Nora Kelly as Cook 3, split day, Wirt County Primary Center, Wirt County Middle School, and Wirt County High School, effective for 25-26 school year with completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Need a motion to approve the employment of Samantha Delaney, Bus Aide District-wide, effective for 25-26 school year with completion of her required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So she is the successful bidder for that candidate. As you recall, we needed an additional bus aide. You authorized it, we posted it, and now I'm bringing the successful candidate back to you.
Questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve Samantha Delaney, Bus Aide District-wide, effective for 25-26 school year with completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. And need a motion to approve the employment of Christy Dye, athletic trainer for Wirt County Middle School, effective for 25-26 school year with completion of her required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So as you recall, last spring, Mrs. Dye resigned from this position. Her child is now at the high school and wants to spend time there with him. Bless Mrs. Dye's heart, she has seen that we've had that posted all year. We haven't had an applicant. We're likely not going to get an applicant. So she has bid on this, and if there are portions of that she cannot complete, we're going to prorate that out, portions of this position that she can't do, because better to have it filled with somebody that can do part of it than it just be posted and remain completely vacant. So I do appreciate Mrs. Dye being willing to do that and to help us out with this position.
Absolutely. Any questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve the employment of Christy Dye, athletic trainer, Wirt County Middle School, effective for 25-26 school year with completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. We're down to our new business. Need a motion to approve Wirt County Schools Policy J-17, student use of cell phones and personal electronic devices during the school day. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
Okay, so as your agenda says, there were 6 comments on this. You put it up for comment the last time, and I have given you a handout of what all of those comments say. The first, it says, sounds like the start of a good policy. I agree that personal electronic devices need to be limited while in school. The next comment, to quote my student, this is the exact same policy that's in place now. It does nothing. It could only work if teachers and administrators take the time to follow the policy universally and unilaterally. And that is true. So individual schools have had their own policy with dealing with cell phones, but the difference is that the state
law.
legislature came in and mandated that they follow the state policy, and that county boards come up with a new policy that gets in provision with the state policy. Okay, next comment. I do not agree with this. I feel that my children should be able to communicate with me throughout the day if needed. My children are never disruptive in class with their phones. And so I appreciate this comment, and I will say that most kids have followed the rules with the phones, but when some have not, it's been problematic, and this new state law and county policy is mandated by the state that we have to do that. Okay, the next comment, it's rather lengthy. I understand kids not having cell phones out during class time unless allowed by specific teacher or being used for an assignment, calculator, etc. I do not think they should be prohibited from use altogether. I mean, they use netbooks with emails, messengers, etc. Also, a lot of kids use their actual cell phone as a tool for schoolwork. For example, Spanish class, you have to take a photo of your assignment and email it to the teacher. There is going to be no way to do that without a phone. There are other classes that cell phones have been utilized. I text or call my child while at school unless absolutely necessary. However, there are times that it is needed. The office will be bombarded with unnecessary calls, unnecessary discipline, because we all know kids will still have their phones. I feel like disciplinary actions and attention could be used elsewhere versus policing cell phone usage. If this change goes through, I feel this should be for teachers and personnel as well, and we should go back to using textbooks and not netbooks. And then the final comment, well, I guess there's two more. The next comment, students shouldn't need their device. They can use school tech. Policy should also restrict the use of school bus because of harassment and bullying. So there are some amendments that I've highlighted in yellow to the policy pertaining to some of these comments, and this is one of them that we have added. And then finally, does this apply to teachers also? I think the policy also does address that, and there is an additional section in yellow that speaks to that. So if you will look to the last handout that I provided you tonight, it is the policy, and I've got some highlighting here. I did speak to some bus drivers about this policy, and they felt the need that we defined the school day as including their time on the bus. So the first area that I have added or changed would be striking the previous definition of the school day, adding in the highlighted, where it's going to include the time that they're on the bus. The period of time when the student gets on the school bus to come to school in the morning until the time the student gets off the bus at home in the afternoon. Okay, if you look at letter B on listed things that this is going to include, I did not know that there was such a thing as smart AI prescription glasses. Apparently this is a thing, and so I'm including that. I guess we have a student at the high school that has Ray-Ban Meta AI prescription glasses. So I hope they're more careful with their glasses than I was as a kid, because I don't figure those are cheap, but we have added smart glasses in there in the list of devices. And then finally, if you will look at the last page of the policy, to address teacher usage, we agree that staff members don't need to be on their phone in the school day doing personal things and social media of that, but Mrs. Smith pointed out, and the other principals as well, that sometimes teacher cell phones are used to communicate out information. And for instance, Mrs. Smith specifically said if a group of kids are in the auditorium, there's no PA system in the auditorium, so the only way to contact that teacher is by text. So the highlighted edition says that while we recognize teachers are employees with different freedoms, teachers should not have personal communication devices out while students are in their class. And the highlighted section added says, unless it's for school-related business. So those, I tried to take the comments into consideration to make changes already here. So I'm happy if the board wants to approve this, or if the board wants to put it out with these changes for an additional comment. Happy to do whatever the will of the board is.
I would like to say first off, Mr. McCown, where did we pretty well model our policy off of?
So the state had a general provision with the policy, but we had a group of teachers and administrators together over the summer, and we modeled our policy closely off of what Kanawha County's policy was and Wood County Schools policy. Kind of it mirrors both both of their policies.
Which I'm assuming all those stem from the state.
The same state policy, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can, there's things in here that are more restrictive than the state policy, but, or more, I don't know if they're more restrictive, they're more descriptive than
Well,
what
and at the
state
end of the
policy.
day, I mean, you know, some of the concerns were safety. I would want the adult in the room to have a phone versus a child in the room having a phone. I think those are two drastically different things, so.
Yes, they are.
I honestly thought there would be a lot more comments.
I've got a question, and just inform me of, I can't remember, how are we supposed to do with kids that have cell phones or these devices? Are they to leave them in their vehicle, or are they on school property?
So the policy goes into that a little bit, so it either needs to be in their locker silenced or in their backpack silenced. So they can't have it out, and even if they have it in their backpack and the thing is going off, they're going to be in trouble for that. So it needs to be silenced and put away out of sight. And I will say, to address the one comment there is a provision in there that if a teacher is doing some sort of project that could potentially use the cell phone for an instructional purpose, legitimate, the teacher has got to run that through the building administration and get that approved in writing before they do that. But there is a provision in this policy, if a teacher has a legitimate classroom use for that phone for an instructional purpose, for the teacher to request that be approved by the building administrator, and then the building administrator would approve it or deny it.
Mr. McCown, I think under where you put down where, under responsibilities be teachers, I believe that probably should state school personnel
Okay?
somehow, because we have aides, and I know our bus drivers
What
already.
page- What page are,
It's where you put the extra little piece in.
Okay.
Okay?
okay, yeah, I can amend that.
Because we do
School-
have aides in the classroom, we do, I mean, if I went strictly by the policy, if I was an aide, a custodian, secretary, a cook.
Yep, that is a very good
I'm not under
point.
that
You would have to.
I'm
yeah.
going
Yeah.
to change that to school staff.
school staff. And bus drivers are already there because they have state law already says that they can't have the cell phone out while they're driving and stuff, so they're already covered. But I think we need to probably make that a little bit broader.
Well, and I'm glad we extended that to the day starting when they get on the bus as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
I would like to see a meter of about, after school's over, our cell service, if it peaks in the county, when school's over, okay?
Like
If,
the graph would.
yeah, how many calls go out after school's over? No. Any other questions, comments? So the question is, for us, we do not have to put this back out. We're not, through our policy, it is a choice of the board with these changes. So, you know, I'm open to suggestions on that. I think that what was been put in here, the only real major change is about the school bus. And I'm not sure it'll garner any comments or whatever, but whatever you guys think, I'm fine with passing it tonight, personally, but I'm open. Tell me what y'all think.
On changing with,
Okay.
on lengthening the day to the school bus, did we talk to the bus drivers about that?
That
I mean,
was,
that was one
that
of the
was,
parents' comments.
that was one of the parent comments, but bus drivers have made similar comments to me that they would like to see that included.
And I'm sure we'll be coming back because next we'll be implanting something in our eyeballs or something to get on the.
I sure hope not.
I'm not being that facetious, okay?
Oh, sure.
Uh,
I mean, it's already in
We'll
classes.
probably be coming back and realigning what we mean. But, okay, so let's go ahead, if it's okay, if nobody has a big concern about it, let's go ahead, we have a motion on the table to approve. So let's move forward with that. Any other questions?
Yeah, so just to be clear, the school day and this policy with them not being on their devices, when they get on the bus, they can no longer be on their phones, texting, doing whatever. And then they cannot, and while they're on the bus ride home, they can also not be on their
That's correct.
devices.
Well, and I can think of numerous situations where kids have gotten into mischief and/or trouble on the bus
It eliminates that whole problem.
because somebody was something or texting something, and Mr. Smith is here,